Hello, as you are coming in, you're in the right spot. If you were here for the webinar on how to use improv to reinvent yourself, reinvent your business, we're going to get started here in just a moment, but we want to know who you are. So feel free to, in the chat box, which should be behind you or below you, put your name and where you're checking in from, what city, and we are super excited for all of the amazing people looking through the list. A lot of people that I know, some people that I maybe don't know, but we are going to be getting started. So if you can just find the chat box and mention.
Nancy's outside Toronto. Okay. Hey, Nancy.
Yes. What's happening, Jason?
Okay. Jason, Iggy. Okay.
Kendra.
We can, Portland represent, Toronto, Sarasota. Mark,
yes.
Hey, Mark. Mark is in, I think, Hawaii, right? Yeah.
I believe so. Yeah. This is going to be interactive, as in we're going to talk a little bit about the improv mindset. We're going to demo a few games, and then we are going to invite a few of you to get on camera and play a few games with us. So yes, we are going to be getting started. What's happening, Mark?
Hey, buddy.
Maui in the house.
Yeah, we got all these great people.
All right. Yes, a lot of awesome people. Welcome to the webinar. Welcome. Let's get started. How are you doing today, Kathy?
I'm doing good. You know, we're making it. You know, we're getting through one day at a time and taking it one day at a time. And you know, I think about, you know, the 20 years of improv and comedy. And I know you're thinking about your background too. And it's like, Gary and I met through improv. We've known each other for a number of years, and it's one day at a time. I think this is nobody asks for this. I think if there were ever a ideal scenario, and it's not ideal, but if there were a scenario where we really need to step up and make good use of our skills, like this is it, you know?
Exactly. Yes. So over the next 45, 50 minutes, what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about the improv mindset and how you can utilize the improv mindset to reinvent either your business or reinvent yourself, how to get out of sticky situations, how to be creative, more innovative. And if you have any questions while we're going through this, put them in the chat box. Just a little bit of housekeeping. And like I said earlier, we're going to be modeling a few games, and then we're going to invite a few people to come up and actually take your real life situations, whether it's a personal situation or a business situation, and put it through the improv machine. We're gonna crank it out. We're gonna play a few games, and hopefully get you some real on the spot answers. So if you have any situations that you want to model with us, put it in the chat box and we'll get to it.
We do. Yes. We wanted it to be real world experience. We wanted it to be totally live, like rather than, you know, we have a backup plan, but we really want you to get the most out of it. So if you folks have real specific situations, Gary and I thought it would just be fun to model live and show you what we can do.
Yes. So Dana, yes, we will invite you on to play some games with us if you want to. And this is being recorded. So if you're walking out and about or, you know, listening to this in the background, we will be sending the recording to everybody so that you can play this back, send it to friends, etc. So without further ado, this improv mindset. When we mean the improv mindset, Kathy and I, we both are performers of improvisation. You know, we've been performing for quite some time, and I'm going to let Kathy introduce herself formally in just a second and talk about her background, where she came. We also use improv as a facilitation tool. It's called applied improvisation, in that we use the principles that improvisers like ourselves use to create magic on the stage without a script, and apply it to all kinds of situations. And we've seen it been applied to creativity challenges, to business challenges, to personal challenges. And we're in a situation, you know, with all that's going on in the world with COVID-19 and having to stay at home and, you know, work from home, and businesses having to rethink how they do what they do, this is the perfect time. And this is why we said, let's get together and let's play around and help some people out. And so a lot of people, we have met, but if we haven't met personally, my name is Gary Ware. I run a company called Breakthrough Play, where I use play and improvisation as tools to help you be more creative, more confident, better collaborators. And I am here with Kathy Klotz-Guest. And Kathy, would you mind introducing yourself to our amazing audience?
Sure. Hey, everybody. I'm Kathy Klotz-Guest, and I am the founder of Keeping It Human. I just celebrated 10 years in business. Yes. And Keeping It Human is about bringing all the good stuff of improvisation, all the techniques, tactics. I also spent 15 years in tech, managing teams and marketing and communications, and bringing those two worlds together. So taking a lot of the real world strategies of business and combining them with my background, my 20 plus years in improv, to help teams come up with new ideas, like Gary said, innovate, collaborate, solve real world problems, and move teams forward. So,
yeah, exactly. And so, Kathy, my first question for you is, what types of situations do people really need to embrace the improv mindset? Can you give us a few and maybe some examples that you've seen?
Yeah. I think so much of it. I think there is no human being who can't benefit from it. And that's not just because we're improvisers and we are committed. We have signed in blood our oath and our fealty to the Church of Improv. It's more than that. It's really, I think everybody, from leaders who have to move teams forward, to team members, to individual contributors, to small businesses. Anytime you're in a situation where you are having to move people, move ideas, move relationships forward, which is business itself, whether it's sales, whether it's coming up with new ideas, whether it's how you solve even challenges like bias in the workplace, which Gary and I have talked about, unconscious bias. How do you talk about those things, and how do you make it safe and okay to lean into that? A lot of the concepts of improv, this yes and mindset, can move us forward. They get us unstuck from where we are, to move us to where we need to be. And right now we don't have a choice. The cards got dealt, and we're in this world that nobody would choose. Certainly nobody would choose it. And so I think any time, and again, boy, you don't always choose those things, but when you've got the cards that you're dealt, I think a yes and innovation mindset is, all right, where are we now? What do we do with this right now? And that is I think an innovation mindset that everybody needs.
Yes, yeah. Agreed. And Kathy mentioned the concept of yes and. So if you're not familiar with improvisation, that is the term that is thrown around. And as it pertains to improvisers on stage, yes and means that, two people are in a scene, one person presents an offer, initiation, they say something, the next person, they will accept that. That's the yes. And they will build on it, because if we didn't have that, Kathy can come on stage and present something. Like, Kathy, say something, that potentially would start a scene.
So, hey, Gary, did you bury the body like I asked?
And if I wasn't following the improv, principle of yes and, I could say, what are you talking about, burying a body? There's no body. I thought we were going to school. And again, that might gather a laugh. Yeah. However, as you saw, now the story goes nowhere.
Yeah.
And so I'll do it one more time. Kathy, can you throw me that line again?
Yeah. Hey, Gary, did you bury the body like I asked?
Yeah, of course I buried the body, but just FYI, Kathy, we have at least 10 hours before the bloodhounds get here.
Oh, man. And there's probably evidence in there. We're going to have to get that out. We're going to have to go back in.
Cool. And see, so we say this in that this is the foundation of all improv. And this is one of those principles that once you start just doing it over and over again, you can't help but to start yes-anding yourself, yes-anding situations, Now, one thing with yes and, if you're typically a person that says no all the time, this will help you open to new possibilities.
Yeah.
But if you're a person who's always saying yes, and maybe you say yes too much, yes and doesn't mean that we always agree.
Yeah.
And Kathy, what is your take on yes and in the sort of outside of the improv?
Yeah. And it's one that Gary and I talk about a lot. Gary and I have all these philosophical conversations because it's real world. We're so used to saying but. We say yes, but all the time. And so the worry that I hear a lot is like, well, but what if it's a crappy idea? If I say yes and to a crappy idea, or yes and your idea sucks? No, that's not what yes and is. They think, I think the fear is for a lot of people is if I say yes and that we're going to have to go do the idea. And it doesn't mean that at all. It just means you're exploring the idea, you're considering the idea, you're really delving deep and going on an adventure and going, is this something viable? Could we do this idea? You're entertaining it. It doesn't mean you have to commit. And I think the worry that people really have is if I yes and you, we're committed. Now we're married.
Yes.
Now we're married and we got to live together. And it doesn't mean that at all. I think the way people need to really understand is that, and just moves ideas deeper down the funnel of consideration and allows us to really explore. So you don't have to make that commitment.
Yeah. And so in the world of reinvention, yes and is a great tool for getting ideas out there. And Kathy, you want to play a quick game?
Let's play a game.
Let's play the yes and game. And I would like to turn it is anyone that is a participant want to play with us? We'll bring you on camera real quick. We'll take really good care of you. If you do, just put in the chat.
We will have your back. We will commit to have your back. We will have your back.
So Nancy raised her hand. All right. Cool. We're going to bring Nancy on.
Okay.
All right. Hi, Nancy. Hopefully Nancy will allow us to see her beautiful face. And there it is. And we can hear her voice in just a second when she allows herself to be unmuted.
Okay. I can't see Nancy. Hey. I'm not sure why. I can't see Nancy. I don't know why. But
I can see you, Nancy.
Okay, now I see you. Now I see Nancy. Okay.
Hi, Nancy.
Hi,
Let everyone watching where you're from. And thank you for taking a bold step and coming on camera with us.
You're welcome. I'm just in for a run and I immediately said yes. And I realized just how sweaty and brutal I look. My name is Nancy Watt. I live in a small town about 40 minutes southwest of Toronto, Canada. It's a small town called Dundas. We like to say, been there, done das. I'm sorry that's totally cheesy. Happy to help.
It's all good. And you know what? You just look like you're glistening. So I love that. So don't even worry about it. So we're going to play the yes and game. And for this game, all that you have to do, Nancy, is just say yes and say and add one more detail.
Okay.
And for everyone in the chat, to get us started, what is something that the three of us could be planning? It could be a vacation, it could be a project, it could be anything. Just throw in the chat.
Party. Ooh.
Yes. What could it be? Oh, a high school reunion is the first thing. Oh, a 5-course meal. All right, cool.
There's great answers. Those are great suggestions.
To run for president. Oh my gosh. All right. Cool. Nancy, which one are you curious on exploring?
I'm loving the high school reunion. I think that was a great one.
Cool. All right. So we are going to be planning our high school reunion. We're the party planning committee, and we're going to see how this yes and process works. And let's go. You know what? I'll kick it off, and it'll go in this order. It'll go me, then it'll go Nancy, then it'll go Kathy. Cool.
Okay.
All right. Hey, everyone. All right. Thank you for coming to this meeting to plan our high school reunion. So excited. All right. First detail, first order of business. I want us to make it luau.
Yes. And our past class president, Mary Ellen Wanamaker, will love that since she's originally from Honolulu.
Ooh, yes. And we will offer dancing classes. We'll do original Polynesian dances.
Yes. And one of the things that we can offer, since we have this Hawaiian theme, is lei make. Oh no, sorry, what is it called? Yeah, lei, the flower things. Well, everyone will get laid.
That's right.
The flowers.
It'll be just, yes, and it'll be just like my high school prom.
Yes, and people can wear leis and wear their prom dresses if they want to relive the prom experience. We'll make it the Polynesian prom.
Yes. In addition to wearing the prom dresses, we definitely need to have the prom photos so we can have a comparison.
Yes, and we'll have an entire photo booth with a background of the Pacific Ocean and the leis and the skirts. It'll be fantastic.
Yes, and we can have a treasure hunt, and we can actually have people have to find and then guess the old prom pictures, who those were, match up the current and the old one.
Yes, and for the winner, you know what? Since, we're just putting it out there, if they can get the most correct, we will give them round trip flight to Hawaii.
Oh, yes, and since you had originally said there's no budget, we're gonna send them first class the whole way.
Yes, and we will document it, and they'll be able to take videos and share them out on their social profiles of all the cool things that they do.
Yes, and what we'll also do is for anyone else who want to go, why not give them the ability to go as well?
Yes, and since the high school quarterback turned out to be president for American Airlines, we'll get him to sponsor the whole deal.
Yes, and we'll make the party on the plane.
His name is Chad.
Chad. We'll turn the whole airline into a party, a mobile party on the plane.
Yes, and you know what? Why don't we just move the whole reunion to Hawaii anyway?
Exactly. That's where our class president, I can't remember her name, Mary Ellen Wanamaker.
Yeah.
That's where she wanted it.
Ed Seed. All
Thank
right,
you,
cool.
Guys.
Yes. So Nancy, how did that feel for you? Just playing this game.
Good. I love it. It is a mindset to improv being inherently positive and collaborative, and because the idea is built on each other, it had just a natural flow.
Yes. So yes, if everyone could just give some claps and some thumbs up in the chat for Nancy. Thank you so much, Nancy, for joining us and playing. We're gonna put you back in so you can just
Nancy,
listen.
Putting her back in the computer.
Yes. All right.
It's a little tiny little thing in the computer now. Thanks,
Right.
Nancy.
Bye.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Nope. I'm not gonna. Oops. I don't know what happened. I hope Nancy's still in there. Nancy, if you're still in there, I hope I didn't remove you from the actual meeting. Oh my gosh. I hope not. I'm just getting used to this.
And actually, that's okay. And yes, and if she can't get it, she can come back in or get the recording later. Yes, and.
Yes. Amazing. So that is a simple game called Yes and. That is a great way to start brainstorming ideas. And one thing that I love about this, and I want to get your opinion in just a second, Kathy, is that just playing the game. We just started going and we were throwing out ideas out there. And then we eventually came on the idea of let's just move it to Hawaii. And that was a cool thing that couldn't have happened if we were sort of hoarding ideas or if we were saying no. And all of those points needed to happen in order for that sort of breakthrough to happen. What was your sort of take on this?
Yeah, I think our instinct, and it becomes second nature over time. The more you yes and, the more used to it you get. But it's a foreign concept. It is a mindset because it takes time maybe to adapt it. And some of you might be familiar with it. Our human nature wants to yes, but, and it's cool because we all do it. Occasionally we forget. And the thing we forget is that the minute we have shut somebody's ideas down. And we have this tendency as humans to want to go, oh yes, but my idea is better. But then the ideas don't go anywhere. The scene that Gary talked about, that scene of burying the body, it just comes to an end. We can't move forward. So even when, again, you don't have to marry the idea. Even if you hear a voice in your head that says, hey, I don't know about that idea, you're not committing to it. So go with it. Go with it and see where the idea ends up. And we were able to do all these things, not because somebody's idea was better than somebody else's. It was because we came together and built it together.
Yes.
That's the cool part.
Agreed.
That's the cool part.
Yes. Yeah. And it doesn't mean that we have to act on all the ideas. We're just creating a space for the ideas to form and for these ideas to blossom. And yeah. And another improv principle, that I definitely want to touch is that, and this can be, very helpful in exploring things, is when we're developing scenes, we like to say, if this is true, then what else is true?
Yeah.
And what that does, that sort of mindset, that sort of thought process, is that it allows you to go down this rabbit hole and start to think of different possibilities.
Yeah.
And we can all agree that, in this time that we're in now, we sometimes need to have like different perspectives. We need to start to think about different things. And this is a really great, just sort of thinking tool. It's a great mindset tool just to help you start to see other potential avenues. And especially if you want to start to explore just your customers and what else is there. What is your thoughts on that, Kathy?
I love that. I think it's so true because a part of the innovation mindset is that everything's up for grabs. I think we get in a rut and we go, well, we've always done it this way, or that's the rule. Well, who says? If that's true, that we can't change the rule, what else is true? But what if it's true that we could change the rules, and what else is true? Before Picasso was into Cubism, he painted like a Dutch master. Like, if you see his original paintings, they're all beautiful, like almost Rembrandt-ish and Renoir and all that other stuff. And then you see Cubisms, because he learned the rules, then he could go and he could break the rules. So I love challenging what we think the rules of something are. So the next time you catch yourself saying, well, that's how we've always done it, or, we can't do that. Can you? Yeah.
And then once you explore that idea, then you say, all right, if this is true, then what else is true?
What else is true?
If this is true, then what else is true? If this is true, what else is true? And just list all of these ideas out there. And again, it doesn't make it completely true, but it gets you thinking in that direction.
Yeah.
Yes. And so, Kathy, what game do you want to play?
Ooh, do you want to play mashup?
Yeah, let's play mashup. So for mashup, we love to get a few other people to come on, and I promise I won't kick you off. Kyle said he was interested. Mark wants to come in, so I love it. All right.
Come and play.
I'm going to Kyle. Are you still interested? If you are, I will allow you. Mark, I'm going to bring you in.
That's awesome. Okay.
Cool.
Cool, yay!
Kyle, all right. Cool.
Got your back.
Right. Yes, we got you back, and we're going to make everyone look completely amazing.
Awesome, yay!
What's happening, Mark? Aloha.
Aloha, life is good. I'm in my Hawaiian outfit.
I love that.
I like it. He's got the t-shirt on. That's right, because the weather's gorgeous.
I actually had to put a shirt on for this because the Hawaiian outfit is really the shirt off.
There you go. Well,
yes.
There you go.
And what's happening, Kyle?
What's up? I'm doing this in my son's room, so I'm nice and secluded. What's up?
Okay, there we go. All right, so this game is called Mashup. What we're going to do is we are going to get a whole bunch of, how should we do it? Should we get some suggestions in the chat of some things?
Let's get some suggestions, yes.
All right, what sort of things would you like suggestions from, Kathy?
Let's get suggestions for like things you love to do. What's your passion? What's some hobby? A hobby.
Yeah,
hobby. Let's get a bunch of hobbies.
Whole bunch of hobbies. Throw it in there. Hiking. We got hiking, swimming. A lot of outdoors people. I love this. Bungee jumping.
Cool.
And I'm sorry for all of you outdoors people who have these amazing hobbies and you're not able to enjoy them.
I know.
Maybe we can
Who's
help
eating? Laura, my girl. Yes.
Yes.
Cooking. Kendra, all right. Drinking.
Yes. All right, cool. All right, so Kathy, what's next? So we got a whole bunch.
Yeah, so let's take a couple suggestions. Let's maybe take just off the top of my head, let's talk eating.
And I'll take knitting
and eating slash cooking, and swing dancing, because those just seem fun and what the heck. Let's take eating slash cooking and swing dancing, and let's go around and see how many combinations of those we can come up with. And then after the second round, let's add in some of those new hobbies and see if we can mash those up in there.
Yeah, with other ones. So how this is going to work is we're just going to be brain dumping. Whatever you can think of as a combination, we're just going to be throwing it out there. We'll just go in a circle. It'll go me, Kathy, then Mark, then Kyle. And then whatever you can think of, just throw it out there. There's no wrong answers. We're just brainstorming as much as we can. So just to repeat it again, we got eating slash cooking, and we got swing dancing.
Yes.
All right. So first thing I can think of is it's like a hoedown barbecue. That's what I got.
Ooh, love it. A hoedown barbecue, and we teach people how to cook and how to swing dance, and we video it.
Cool. Mark, what do you got?
Am I building on what Kathy said, or just the whole, anything that comes to my mind?
You're building on. You're building on the last thing that was said.
Got it. So people are learning, and of course they are buying all our follow-up videos of how to do this at home during the quarantine.
Got it. Yes. Kyle, what do you got?
Okay, I lagged out a second. I'm sorry, I didn't hear what you said, Mark.
Mark, can you say it one more time?
They're learning, and then they're buying all our home video of how to do this during quarantine with your family.
Oh, okay. While they're learning, they're also, while they're watching the videos and learning, they're also eating hoedown barbecue on the couch.
Got it. All right, cool. So we got a takeout option. And since now we've moved this sort of food / education indoors, what we can do is we can offer accessories that people can buy as well, so that they can feel like they're in person.
Ooh, and we can, along with those accessories, every week from the couch have a cooking segment and a dancing segment that people can participate on remotely, like a Zoom barbecue cook dancing thing.
Well, the obvious thing then is partnerships with the Food Network and Dancing with the Stars to combine this brilliant idea and get some celebrity cachet.
I think we could also work with Netflix and create our own series, kind of like the Cake Boss or one of those shows.
Oh yeah, and it will be So You Think You Can Cook and Dance, and it will be a 2-part competition that people can watch. The first part is a cooking competition, and then a dancing competition.
And then we can do that. We can take the cooking and the dancing competition, and we can move it to a house where every week somebody gets voted out of the house.
Love it. Cool. And see, all right, we'll just end with that. We'll do one more in just a moment, but real quick, Kyle and Mark, how was that for you two? Was anything challenging or?
So a little bit uncomfortable at first.
Okay.
But just kind of trying to focus on just whatever comes right to mind.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it was fun when we got into a flow.
Yeah.
At times it felt like we were just kind of hopping along and adding things, yet for some reason they didn't all feel connected. When you have that great flow of like boom, ba boom, ba boom, ba boom.
Yeah.
That is a really good point, Mark. And something for everyone watching is with this, sometimes you have to just keep going. You have to keep going,
Yes.
because I felt like in the beginning, yeah, we're just sort of putting things out there. And I felt like we started to get on a roll once we, like, the Netflix thing came in, and then that
Yeah.
just started sprouting ideas.
Yeah.
And, really good tip is, if you're using this to, brainstorm anything, just keep at it. So great point, Mark.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, sometimes the obvious thing, just say it, and you may think it's redundant, and that's okay, because you may say something, then the next person goes, ooh, that's a new thought, and I can jump onto that and then add something else. So, and I think you notice a little lag there. The more we're in our own heads judging, we're holding back. So for us to get into the flow, it really is less about judging and just getting it out there. And and the faster you go, the less judgment, and you'll get in the flow.
Yep. Yeah. And so cool. Round of applause for everyone in the chat for these two. This was awesome. Thank you so much. We're gonna put you
Mark.
back.
Thanks, Kyle.
We might bring you back if you want. All right. I'm not. All right. I hope I don't kick you off. So hold on real quick.
I hope they stay. If not, sorry, guys.
Attendee. All right. There we go. I figured out how to do it. Yay. And I'm using the force.
Awesome.
Cool. And so 2 things I want to touch on, 2 more improv principles that was in play right there. Was the whole concept of just embrace failures, embrace mistakes. In improv, we say there is no such thing as a mistake, only gifts, no mistakes. And then the next thing is heightening.
Yes.
And in improv, like scenic improv, we take like a concept and we make it a little bit absurd. Yeah. Just as a way to just bring the story along. But sometimes in bringing it back to other contexts, this is a great way to really get an idea. And what's your thought on those 2, Kathy?
Yeah, exactly. And we got a little bit into the heightening with, you mentioned the, sort of the, at one point a barbecue hoedown and a show. We built on the Netflix idea, and then I added the heightening of, well, then somebody gets booted off every week. So sometimes new doesn't necessarily mean it has to be this new grandiose thing. To Gary's point, it can be taking what's already been established and then just adding a level of stakes, what we call raising the stakes. In improv, we call raising the stakes or heightening. And so it's just, all right, take that basic thing, and it doesn't have to necessarily be a new idea because you might not have it, but find a way to raise the stakes of what's already been offered. That's still new. That's still adding value. So don't, and as Gary said, sometimes it will be a little uncomfortable. You're not sure. It's okay. There is no right. There is no wrong. In improv, there really isn't. And if you just keep at it and keep adding the ideas, something will happen. Something will get unstuck.
Yeah. And hopefully you're starting to see, all right, we were doing these in these absurd, situations, just for example, but you can take this and apply it to anything and start to, work this stuff out. And that's a great place to mention the article, Kathy, that you sent over. Would you mind sort of teeing that up and talking about the article
Sure.
about the restaurant in Seattle from Fast Company?
Sure. I'll have to find it and then post it.
Yeah. Oh, I have it right here. I'll post it in the chat for everyone.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say. Yes, thank you. So there's a great article that you should take a look at, everybody, in Fast Company, and I sent it to Gary, and I was like, I think this is a really good example of just pivoting and yes-anding and what else can you do. And there's so many examples today of how do businesses move forward, especially given the circumstances we have. So there's this great example of restaurants, and we're seeing many restaurants do it. But this one restaurant was like, well, we're going to have to kind of bust into a couple different restaurants because we have to close down the actual restaurant. So then they had the restaurant where you could order from. Then they had like the bagel. You could go get bagels in the backyard. They set up a bagel shop and started making bagels so they could have a breakfast kind of thing going on while the kitchen made the stuff. And in order not to lay off their servers and to keep people employed, they started their own delivery service. So they put their own workers to work delivering. And so they took the restaurant and kind of broke it into 3 parts and 3 different types of dishes and things it could make, and kept all their servers and employed them. And we also saw another related article where distilleries, vodka distilleries that have capacity are able to, with minimal adding on, they can now make hand sanitizer. And so they're finding other things they could make, other ways to keep people employed, and to say yes and to what else could we do? How do we mash up that idea with something else that we can do? And these are really good examples of yes anding and heightening and mashups that we just talked about.
Yep, agreed. And one other game that I definitely want to play, and love to get a few other people that want to play. If you want to play, just put I'm down or something like that in the chat. It's a really fun game, and we'll definitely take care of you. All right. Once some people say that they want to play, we will bring them on. This game is a game that Kathy had mentioned earlier, is unfortunately, fortunately. And this is a great way of starting to see the hidden gems in an unfortunate situation. So if you want to play the game with us, if you can just put I want to play, or under the panelists or something like that, if you raise your hand, I will pick you.
Yeah, come play with us. And it is a great game. While you're finding somebody, Gary, I'll just say that the beauty about it, unfortunately, fortunately, is that you can apply it to anything, and it has real world applications. We are in one right now. So part of it is you can't control the cards you're dealt. So, all right, unfortunately, that happened. So then what? Is there a hidden idea, as Gary said, in what the unfortunate situation is? Is there something we can pluck out of that and flip it and find the upside? So part of the unfortunately, fortunately is every other person's going to do an unfortunately. Every other person is fortunately, because you're getting practice flipping that. How do we take a negative? How do we take a negative and flip it into something positive? And that's the practice. That's the discipline.
Yes. All right. So we're bringing Dana on. Dana's going to play with us.
Who's going to play? Who's going to play?
All right. Oops.
Oh, Dana. Hey, Dana.
Yep. And
I'm so glad people are stepping up. You guys are awesome. You guys are the best.
Yes. All right. And Kyle wants to play again. All right. I love it. Cool.
Okay,
we're bringing Kyle back.
Bring Kyle back. Kyle's out of the box.
And hopefully Dana will allow. All right. All right. Cool. Oh, what's happening? You have to unmute yourself.
That's awesome, Kyle.
Yes. I know you're not, it's Kyle's brother. Dana, if you can unmute yourself and then add your camera. There she is.
Somebody got a dog. Hey,
that's
dog.
me. That is me. Yes.
Let me turn some lights on. Is that better? There we go.
Hey there.
All right. Cool. Kathy, set up this game.
Hi, Gary.
Hey. Hey, Dana.
Love your shirt.
Hey, Kyle. So we're gonna play a game. The way it works is we'll get a scenario. Somebody will give us a suggestion, like some kind of situation, and what we're gonna do is I'll start it and I'll say, fortunately, and then Gary, it'll go from me to Gary. Gary will say unfortunately. The next person will say fortunately. So every other person will do unfortunately. If the person before you did unfortunately, you'll say fortunately. So you flip it. Goes every other one. You'll see. You'll catch on. You'll see.
Yes.
You'll see. All right. So then Jeremy stole your identity. Okay.
Yeah, they're brothers. Yes.
Okay. I got you. So let's get a suggestion that we can start with. What's a suggestion? What's a situation? What's a situation?
Yeah. Put it in the chat. Like, what is something that you are just kind of bummed about?
Team WDS getting canceled.
Okay. Yeah, that is unfortunately. So it was, WDS was postponed to 2021. Yeah. That's unfortunately.
Okay. Okay.
Just next.
Well, let's start that. So I'll go ahead and I'll start, and I'm going to go ahead and it's an unfortunate situation. I'll start with fortunately.
Hold on real quick. We're going to add one more.
Okay, which one?
Add so that we're not always doing the same one. because that would suck
That's right.
every time he gets to it.
Because we have 4 people. That's okay. Who
All right,
wants to play with us?
we're bringing Kirsten.
Okay,
Kirsten's coming to
Kirsten.
play.
Hey, Kirsten.
Hi, Kirsten.
She will be joining us. I love Kirsten.
Kirsten. Yeah, I was bummed about WS. That's a bummer.
You Cam 5.
Yes, here she comes.
Hey,
In
Kirsten.
3, 2, 1.
Hey, Kirsten.
I wasn't necessarily volunteering myself, but okay, I'm
But she's
here.
here now.
If I must.
Thank you for yes-anding us.
Yes, she's yes-anding. So I'll go ahead and start, and then it will go me, Gary, we'll go Kirsten, and then who else? We got Kyle.
Jeremy, but yes, Kyle.
Jeremy, sorry, he stole your identity, Kyle. Jeremy, and then Jeremy, Dana, back to me. Does that make sense?
Say it one more time.
So me, Gary, to
Mhm.
Kirsten, to Jeremy, the identity thief, to Dana,
Yes, cool.
and then back to me. Is that
Perfect.
okay? And I'm gonna go ahead and start. So WS is a conference that got canceled. It's a playful conference, and it's a bummer. So I'm gonna try to find the upside.
Yes.
Fortunately, it means that we can take that money and then we can use it and invest it into something else.
And unfortunately, there isn't very many conferences that we could invest in right now because a lot of them are being canceled.
Fortunately, we will be able to build up a lot of anticipation to see those people at the conference in 2021.
Mm-hmm.
So did you do an unfortunately or fortunately? I missed that.
You did a fortunate.
She did
Fortunate.
fortunate. So now you got to, yeah.
Got it. Unfortunately, that press to build something up for is we don't know when the actual dates will happen. So we don't know if we'll just go ahead and promote something that'll never happen.
But fortunately, we can use this time starting now until whenever the conference actually happens to make it a year-long or whatever, however long, virtual WDS attendee-led meetups.
Yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it's going to take a little bit of resources, so we might have to take from something else to be able to make it bigger.
Fortunately, this will cause us to be creative and probably level up our skills.
Unfortunately, we all may be quite exhausted from using our creativity for the last year to reinvent ourselves.
Ooh. Fortunately, we can go ahead and network and make it so much better and just build such deeper bonds for the next event.
Unfortunately, that networking is going to be virtual, and we won't be able to hug each other until next year.
Fortunately, we can have breakout sessions all year long and dive deep around sub-issues so that when we see each other next year, we'll already know each other and have these little pockets of subject matter expertise.
Unfortunately, we might get burnt out and bored of those ideas in the meantime.
Fortunately, I have a whole extra year to lose weight and accomplish all my goals.
Unfortunately, because of the quarantine, I have picked up a habit of eating to distract myself. So.
I lost track. Am I fortunately or
You're
unfortunately?
fortunate.
Fortunately.
Fortunately, we can use this time of eating extra snacks to post body positive memes on social media.
Unfortunately, I don't have any really great snacks, so I have some work to do.
Fortunately, by not having a lot of really great snacks, I am going to have to get even more creative, and maybe I might actually eat healthy.
Unfortunately, because of my lack of WDS hugs, I will have to hug the people in this house extra, and they are going to be running away from me all the time.
Fortunately, by having people run away from you, it'll give you exercise you need for the next year.
We'll do the last one. We'll make you the last one.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, we can't go outside, so we're going to have to do laps around the kitchen to get our exercise.
Yes, Ed Seed. Yay, round of applause. Get some claps in there in the chat.
Good job, you guys. Good job.
Yes.
Yay.
So how did that feel for all of you, Jeremy, Kirsten, and Dana?
I think it at first it's intimidating, but as I just let go and surrender, it's really fun.
Yeah.
Fortunately, I think I will try that around the dinner table tonight.
Yeah.
Sometimes it flowed really easy, and sometimes it was really difficult to think of something.
Yeah. And that is part of the work of it. It doesn't always come easy. And for you watching, it may look easy, but yes, we still have to just work at it. But how did it feel that whatever you said was going to be correct anyway? Like, did that make it a little bit easier?
Yeah, definitely. At first, I wanted to be very creative with my responses, but then I just I just trusted myself, and whatever comes out is going to be brilliant.
Yeah,
and it ends up being better in that sense because when I don't care, it's irony.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy, did you want to add something before we say bye to this group of amazing people?
Well, first I want to thank them for being great volunteers and stepping up, and thank you for sharing those thoughts. I think that's such an important reflection because it is important. As always, like Gary said, sometimes we will have this flow, and sometimes the flow stops for a little bit until it starts again, and that's creativity. And we just we have to kind of trust that it will happen, trust the process. And there's always, and it's interesting because in every single one, even though you might not, you might have gotten stuck with it unfortunately or fortunately, the beauty is that everybody was able to find something, and we were able to see the good things that could come, that we were able to actually find some good things that could come from some maybe tough situations. Like everybody came up with something. So yay.
Whoa. I just want to say I like Dana's shirt. I have a t-shirt that says all one and join Team Human that I made.
Nice.
Gary has a picture of him wearing this shirt while skydiving, and they didn't make him wear a skydiving suit, so you can see the shirt like in the sky.
Cool.
Yay. All right, I'm going to put you back.
Bye. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Ah.
Yes, and
That's awesome.
That was fun.
And
so for the folks in the audience, for this game or for all the games, where else do you see yourself potentially using this? Because this is the beauty of this work. We do it in a low stakes environment to get you used to doing it, getting in your body. But we always like to say is, where else could this be useful? So if you have anything, I'd love to see those in the chats.
Yeah.
While we're waiting, I will chat. This is a great, way to just be open about your, sort of feelings, especially now. Kirsten said, yeah, we can use this around the dinner table. Yeah. So yeah, you can be unfortunately, then fortunately, and it's all about the reframe, and it's all about seeing. A friend of mine, she says, the beauty in the garbage.
Yep. The message in the mess.
Yeah. There are no bad experiences, only new challenges.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where we're at. So the more that we can reframe and you can do that every day, I think you'll find some interesting ways to pivot in your business, All right.
Agreed. And the last improv principle that I want to bring up before we ask if there's any other, things that people want us to sort of brainstorm with them, is make your partner look amazing. And in the world of improv, we're co-creating on the spot together. And the principle of make your partner look amazing means that you get out of your head and you focus on how can I be of service of the other person? How can I set them up in a situation where they can be a star? And this is something where when you bring this into the real world, it allows you to be empathetic. It allows you to, see that everyone is contributing, even though, they may be making you mad. But, how can we still make people look amazing? And if you're in business, this is something that, imagine if you found a way to make your customers look amazing, how that is going to come back on your business. Yeah. And what are your thoughts on that, Kathy?
Oh, so true. I mean, it is a core principle. I mean, it goes hand in hand with yes and, because part of yes and is there's no wrong answer. Assume the best intent from a person sitting across from you. You may in your head be going, I don't like that idea. But here's the thing, if we assume the best in somebody and make them look amazing and then explore that idea, we may have a kernel of something really amazing. Just by assuming that their intent is amazing. Yeah.
Yes. So with that, we want to open up. Is there a situation where you need some help reinventing yourself? Maybe it's a personal thing, or maybe it is a business thing. If you want to be brave and hop on camera with us, we will play a game with you. We'll talk it out. We'll help you out. So we're opening it up to see if anyone needs any help. If not, we have a few things in our back pocket because we are improvisers, and that's just how we roll. So just gonna give a moment if someone wants to. Yes, making new offerings online. Mark, is that what you would like to get some help with? I'd love to get a yes. All right, cool. We're gonna bring Mark back. I love that I didn't kick him out for good.
Oh, good. Well, that's good.
Cool. Mark will be joining us.
Yeah.
Welcome again, Mark. All right. You have to unmute yourself.
I think you're muted. Yeah.
There you are.
Thanks.
Cool. Give us some
I
color.
found the island that you sent me to when you bandaged me before was filled with tropical fruit and mermaids, so I appreciate it.
Good.
I love that.
Good.
So, Mark, tell us about your situation.
Yeah, this is great, and ideally we can do this in the next 6 minutes. I am used to doing most of my work in person, as you probably all are too, and now want to make some virtual offerings while still taking care of clients. And I'm feeling this pressure that I should get something out there. All of a sudden, I'm seeing other people putting things out there. Come on, It's slipping away. The market's going away. And hey, and meanwhile, I'm not taking the action I'd like to take, even some small steps, but feeling the heaviness as if I'm already in the project.
Yeah. Okay. So as far as tell us a little bit about your in-person offerings.
In-person offerings are team alignment.
Okay.
Leading with emotional intelligence.
Perfect.
Feedback and appreciation. I've actually done a couple of these virtually, so I have had success with the last 2 workshops, and now also looking at some shorter workshops that I want to put out there.
Got it. Kathy, what game do you think might be fun to explore with Mark?
Oh, there's a number of ones we could do. We could do Yes Let's.
Yeah, that's a good one.
We could do Yes Let's. I'm just thinking of things we haven't done yet.
Yeah.
Any of them work, but maybe a Yes Let's. And I would also say, if the best way to approach these things is really get specific.
Yes.
So the more specific you can be in framing it from a starting point, from your beginning starting point. So you might even say, the statement might be, I want to offer online feedback and appreciation, lunch and learn programs. And then the person can respond and say, yes, let's, and move it forward. So it's really important. And I put that out there because the more, if you're very generic and broad with your opening, it's not going to dive deep and get you very far. So pick a statement, a bold statement in the world, Mark, of what you want to build. And then we can go from there.
Yeah. And we'll, let's then we'll build it and we'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens.
I want to put out short, targeted conversation workshops.
Okay. Short, targeted
conversation workshops.
Okay.
Experiences.
Love that. Even more. Okay.
Short conversation experiences. Conversation experiences. Okay. That's what we're going to do. That's our starting point.
Cool.
Put out short conversation experiences. All right. Well, yes, let's.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Let's ask people what they want to have conversations about. I'm just going to put that out there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let's see if we can offer bite-sized modules for an hour at a time or less, an hour or less.
Yes, let's do short modules and have a special introductory offer.
Yes, and let's have that introductory offer highlight something that is missing in this current environment.
Mm-hmm. And let's have that be something that can be very targeted to the problem for the organization or person you're selling to. One issue, one module.
Yes, and do something for the HR person and for the business line leader.
Yes, let's figure out what can make the HR's person's job a lot easier, being that they are remote and there may be some challenges there.
Mm-hmm. Yes, let's figure out how to make it remote and make their job easier, and see if it is something that we can have them offer for credits, for certifications, for people who have to keep up certifications.
Yes, it's a great idea to do continuing education credits. And let's see if I can get Donald Trump to tweet it.
Yes, let's get any sort of endorsement on Twitter and whoever it is. All right, cool. Add seed. So, Mark, I know we didn't get a lot of time to spend on that, but did that at least get some kernels, some thoughts going?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you. Can we get a few claps
Thanks.
for Mark in there? Thank you so much.
Yeah. Thanks, Mark, for playing.
Yes, and we could have went on and on. We're just a little short for time. One of the things, with this, and I just want to point out, is that it's not a silver bullet. It's not going to necessarily give you like all the answers right now. It's going to expand your possibilities.
Yeah.
And give you more options to work with.
Mm-hmm. Yes, and get specific. Getting specific as much as you can will actually, I think people feel it limits. It actually allows you to go deeper. We could have explored the certification for HR and law, and we could have gone really deep and actually mapped out content, just the deeper you drill. So don't be afraid to just make a declarative statement. I want to offer X to the world digitally, and I want to offer it just to, lawyers, whatever. Boom, go deep. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so that is our time games, and we want you to steal them and use them and let us know how it works for you. And so Kathy, please, the floor is yours. Let people know how they can stay in touch with you and if they found this stuff inspiring and where they can reach out to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Please reach out to me, Kathy Klotz-Guest. And you can find me on all the socials. I'm out there. Please connect. Let me know if there's anything you need. Gary and I do this for a living. So, and I know we have a number of improvisers who also do this. So if there's something, and I put this out there because I know if it's helpful to you, maybe we do another one. But if it's something that, for an organization, that might need some help, Gary and I can deliver these types of programs digitally, much as we did today, to help you with that. I also have a book out. I'm not selling the book for you necessarily, but if you are interested, you can look that up on Amazon as well. So it's called Stop Boring Me. So thank you.
Yes, and I'm Gary Ware. If we haven't met personally, like I said at the beginning, I run Breakthrough Play, and this has been an exciting playground for me as well, because normally these things are done in person, with small, large groups, and it's been a fun challenge to explore how to bring this into a virtual space and still get the results that play and the power of improv does. So if this is something that you're interested in exploring or talking about, breakthroughplay.com, you can get in touch with me there, LinkedIn, Instagram, all of those,
all the socials.
And all the socials.
And you can find me at keepingithuman.com.
Yes. Yes. And thank you, Terry, and all of our panelists who came on and played with us. That is it. We are going to let you go out, stay well, wash your hands, and we will be sharing this replay with you soon. So
we will. Want another one? Let us know. Let us know.
Yes, let us know. All right. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, guys.